Okay, hello internet world. This is Norma Joe. God, this light seems so harsh. It seems like it's hitting my face in such harsh shadows and angles. But whatever. It's like an awkward time of day for light because the sun is like setting. The sun is technically already behind the horizon, and there's like this thick ass bank of clouds that me and my mom saw coming up from the southwest this morning that we thought was gonna it was gonna be all overcast by now, it was gonna be raining and shit. But no, it just sat there. It just sat sitting there on the west side of the city. Like, if you don't know San Francisco, there's like this big ass hill like in the middle. Um, and the the fog doesn't seem to be really coming past that point. I don't know. It's like just got thicker, but it's not like, I think it's moving north. That's what it looks like. Anyways, whatever. So I have basically light is still coming in the house, but I have lights on because it's like basically dark, you know? Anyways, whatever. So I want to start reading because finally all the Lord of the Rings paraphernalia is done, that I know of at least, until I uncover some more in a weird place. But I'm gonna start reading Zombiefest 2! Oh my god, I'm so excited. Look at how fucking thick this is. This is definitely like the longest story I ever wrote. I don't know about its other classifications, but it's definitely the longest. Like, it's way longer than the first one, and it's like, this isn't even all of it because there's more notebooks afterwards that have to do with them meeting vampires and shit like that. But basically, okay, where do I even begin with this? Like, basically, I feel like this. Okay, have you ever watched one of those TV shows where, like, the first season is kind of just like every episode is a standalone story? It doesn't take itself too seriously. It's just kind of like, oh, whatever, it's a show. But by season like 3 or something, it's having like arcs. It's having like, you know, ongoing stories throughout the season. It's like just a more in depth like thing, you know, and it's actually trying to take itself kind of seriously sometimes, where in the beginning it was just straight comedy or whatever. That's basically what happened here, where for some reason, I don't know, like, you know, at the time, obviously I had a lot of extra writing time to be doing this, and near the end, when I was working on the vampire parts, that's the year I was unemployed. But the majority of this isn't even that. But then it's like, yeah, okay, basically I wrote out all these extra adventures that the characters from the first story went on that add new characters, obviously, you know, all this shit. And then, but like, I started taking it more seriously. Kind of. I mean, it's still a comedy, but like, I don't know. I wanted there to be like emotion in it sometimes. And my parents would talk about like what constitutes like good writing a lot of the time. And I would try to like take things from them. Like, they'd mostly, because they watched so many TV shows, or at least they did at the time, they would like complain and be like, oh, this writing is dumb. This episode was dumb. It should have done this, should have done that. So I'd be listening to all this and be like, you know. And so yeah, that's there. But it's still a comedy. But like, basically, this is also the story I think I did the most editing on. You know, obviously most of these stories I read on here have never been edited. Especially the ones from, like, longer ago that I read, like, last year or the year before. But, like, but, like, this one is like, okay, I wrote down all these stories, right? And a lot of them would like jump back and forth randomly between different groups of people, like as I was just thinking of their story, because their stories are supposed to be happening like simultaneously a lot of the time. And it's like basically they get split up into different groups, and you know, just like in the real Walking Dead or any other show like that with a bunch of people. But then my parents kept saying they didn't like that, so I was like, when I edited it, when I typed it on the computer, I like took all these different like pieces and I would like put them together, and then I actually did like episodes, which I didn't do before. Like, you know, all the other stories like Dawson, oh my god, Dawson and Joshi, and the other Zombiefest, all the movie parodies, everything like that. It doesn't have chapters or episodes or anything. It's just kind of like one big long movie, you know. But this one I did episodes, kind of like a TV show, and each episode like I fabricated out of like pieces that I had, and I tried to make each episode about 10 pages long. So there's like a consistency to it that I didn't have previously. And anyways, whatever. I don't know if it's any good, it's my shit. It's my shit, so you have to judge it on that. But anyways, okay, I'm so excited once I go through this because I have most of it typed. I just have to filter out what I've typed already, what I haven't, and then after that, so many little tiny notebooks can go on the bonfire. So, all right, let's start. I'm already 5.5 minutes in. Fuck all this shit. Okay. And now we present to you Zombiefest Part 2! Episode 1, Rick and Friends. The movie begins with a blank black screen, just like last time, and then from the darkness we hear the familiar voice of J.J. Wilson. My god, I forgot even J.J. was in this. JJ, yeehaw, friends! It's a beautiful, hot Wednesday morning, 11 a.m. and 103 degrees. Oh my god. I swear, it's hot. It's hot in here as the devil can make it himself, so I won't keep you waiting on these cool tracks for you cool cats. I fucking love JJ. The music to Devil Went Down to Georgia starts up. We see the old Boys and Girls Club style van speeding wildly down the long empty highway in the southern heat. They run over some dead bodies, and some blood splashes up on the screen and runs down, just like last time. Everyone's singing along to the radio, sweaty and crazy. Singing. The devil went down to Georgia. He was looking to get some souls, because his boss man said, "Pay me my shit or I'll slap you like a hoe." Well, he thought himself a good plan how to get them souls and said, "Why I gotta make it so hard for myself? Fucking bitch, I will raise the dead." And Georgia didn't know it, or the rest of America too, but they need some zombie hunters quick, bad bitches like me and you. So gather up your hunting guns and get together a van and some bullets and booze in your party shoes and get out as fast as you can. Curly, solo. "Hey y'all, my name Curly and I ain't scared of none. Man, I'll paint the town red with The Walking Dead and ride on till it's said and done." Everyone else, woo! Everybody load them up and put gas in your ride, because hell's broke loose in Georgia and the zombies are alive. But if you got good luck and things, you may survive a time. But if you slip, the zombies will eat your mind. Carl, and the rest of you too. Everybody. Of course it has to start with a fucking musical number. The living dead stretched state to state from night into the day, and it seemed that folks was doomed and the devil had his way, but people that survived, they weren't to just give up and die. They said, "We've survived 2017, we can make it by." Oh my god, 2017 seems so easy by today's standards. Try fucking coronavirus, bitch. What happened in 2017 that made it bad? I don't even know. I guess, Trump got in office? I don't know, whatever. With some food on hand and a real full van, we're setting out for north, and when we get there, zombies better be scared, because we're coming in with force. Fire in the mountain, run boy run, chicken in the pan in the rising sun, kick him in the bad leg, kick him down. Ready if you don't mind, Dosito. That didn't even rhyme! The devil came in crawling like he all helpless and beat, and he got down on his knees and said he'd rub on all their feet. Course. Then a last trick zombie jumped on out to bite him in the head, till Hershey's whipped out a gun from his pants and shot the sucker dead. End of song. Cut to later that afternoon. They're pulled over on the side of the highway with some of the last Cadburians climbing out. It's the absolute middle of nowhere. Nothing but empty rolling farmland as far as the eye can see. Hershey's slightly worried for them. "You sure you want to get out here?" Cadburian number 1. Yeah, we're sure. Hershey's, it don't look like much. Cadburian number 2. We're sure. Hershey's, well, alright. He reluctantly watches them go and then shuts the door of the van. They drive away, but you can tell they feel kind of about it. Oh yeah, that was also important to me when I was writing this, to show, people, not standing in other people's way of making their own decisions, even if they themselves thought it was a bad idea. Because I just felt at the time that, on TV shows, that, they, with dramas and stuff, if the main character thought another character was making the wrong decision, they would, force them not to do it, and they would, force them back, sometimes literally hold them back, and stuff. And I always just thought that shit was wrong. So, I wanted to, role model, what I would like it to be, and stuff like that. Oh my god, I was gonna make a whole video one time about how, Escape from New York is, a feminist movie, but I don't think I'll ever do it. But basically one of my main points was, near the end, like, just to go off the same theme, near the end, when they're on the bridge together, then Snake is, like, talking to Maggie, and, he's, like, trying to get her to come with him. He's like, oh, cause Brain's dead, If you haven't seen the movie, none of this shit is gonna make sense, and these fucking names don't help, but, like, yeah, but like, another thing I like about that movie is, like, they say in the context of the movie that Snake is ex-military, but he doesn't seem like it, really. I mean, he can fly that little plane, but it's not like today where everything has to be, like, extra military and people always barking orders and doing, like, military shit, Like, here, in this movie, it's very, like, downplayed, which I like. And, anyways, whatever. So he's trying to get Maggie to come with him, uh, and she's just like, no, or I think she communicates it all with body language. I don't even think she speaks. But basically, she's like, my man is dead, so I want to stay, with his body and stuff. And Snake doesn't try to stop her. He's like totally cool with her making her own decisions, even though she's like sacrificing herself, basically. Like, he doesn't even try to stop her. He's just kind of like, well, if it's what you really want, and then she asks for a gun, and he gives it to her. So he's like, he's not standing in her way, basically, is what I'm saying. He's just like, well, I want to leave. I don't want to stay. But if you want to stay, you are an independent person, so you can do that, Whereas nowadays, I feel like, especially somebody who had been in the military, they would feel obligated to kind of like control everybody else and save their life even if they don't want to be saved, stuff like that. Anyways, whatever. So, where was I? Blah, 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 blah. He reluctantly watches them go and shuts the door of the van. They drive away, but you can tell they feel kind of about it. Hershey's. Hey, Rochelle, how many of them Cadbury folk you got left back there? Rochelle, not many. Pretty much just one. Judd pops out right behind Hershey's. One? Rochelle nods. The camera pans over and down to show Marcia sleeping under a blanket on the van floor, along with some other sleeping characters. I mean, can't be the only one, lol. Flyboy, melancholy and overdramatic. Poor thing. She must be exhausted after yesterday. Last night, the van and the convertible are parked at an abandoned gas station. Everyone's siphoning gas, blasting music, and just having a big-ass ratchet party in their torn-up clothes. Marcia is on top of the van, twerking her big ass around and whipping her hair like Willow Smith. Oh my god, I forgot all about that. As some of the others cheer for her. Yeah, this will be a good gauge to see, like, how much has changed in, like, 4 years. Because they said 2017, but I'm assuming that's, like, they're talking about it in the past. So this was probably typed up in 2018. But it had to be before I moved, because after I moved, I wouldn't have had time to do this. So, yeah. Anyways, where was I? Some of the others cheer for her. Michonne throwing dollar bills. Yes, bitch, you better dance. Everybody used to say that. And flashback. Everyone sighs. And where did she get the dollar bills? I guess maybe they, like, broke into a machine or something. Because, like, not that dollar bills mean anything in the zombie apocalypse. Pan over to Rick and Curly, whispering back and forth, kind of arguing, softcore. You know how people do that, especially couples. Rick, I'm just saying, right now is no time to have another kid. Curly, well, I didn't get myself pregnant. Rick, nuh-uh, you ain't gonna pin this on me. It was that low-down, good-for-nothing, two-timing second husband of yours. The camera scoots over to show Shane sitting right beside them, of course, that, like, tropey thing again. Shane sarcastically, gee, thanks, now I know how much you love me. Rick, don't give me that lip, you son of a bitch, I saved your life. Shane, I saved yours too. They get into barking and bickering, but Curly breaks them up. Curly, cut it out, boys, ain't worth fighting. We gotta stay on good terms, we're a family. Besides, I didn't just found out I was pregnant, They both look at her. Shane, what? Rick, how long? Curly, oh geez, since before Cadbury, at least. Rick and Shane, what? Shane, that's withholding information. You can't do that. Curly, looks like I just did. Rick and Shane, Curly! All cap. Curly just smiles, devoid of all guilt. Rick, in low, shaming voice, you're lucky your son ain't here right now to see you like this. Curly, she looks around. Yeah, where is Carl anyway? Cut to Carl cruising along in the convertible, along with Tyree, Rusty, Tyrone, Luba, and of course Glenn, who's driving one-handed and bumping to Riding with the King, playing on the tape deck. Tyree, God damn, I'm happy as hell to not be in that van with those crazy ass white women. Luba, clears throat angrily. Tyree, oh, I meant women of West European descent. Luba smiles and nods. Carl, hey, my mom's a woman of West European descent. Tyree, oh, sorry, little man. Rusty, yeah, which one's your mom again? The sheriff or the deputy? Tyree, Tyrone, and Luba. Ooh! They all laugh obnoxiously and slap high fives all around. Carl rolls his eyes. Tyree. Haha, come on, we're just having fun. You ought to be proud of your family. They're good people. Carl, thanks. Tyrone. Yeah, man, if I had a family like yours growing up, I probably never would have gotten into gangs and a whole bunch of other bullshit. But then I never would have met my baby, so I guess it's alright. He puts his arm around Luba and they kiss and get all cuddly. The camera pans over to Rusty. His hair is just blowing in the wind as he watches the scenery go by. Rusty, ... I miss my mom. Aww. Tyree turns to him. What was she like? Rusty, we get a quick flashback of a jackal silhouette with glowing red eyes standing in front of a raging inferno of flames. End flashback. Rusty, she was cool. Later that night, the vehicles are parked on the side of the road, and everyone's sleeping out in the grass, on top of blankets and sleeping bags. You know, 'cause it's a warm night, lol. Some of our friends are already asleep, and others are keeping watch with guns, or others are just still awake and chatting quietly. We're looking at the night sky, staring off into space, literally. Pretty boy is off to the side, just looking at the stars by herself, when suddenly she sees a light in the sky start to grow. Pretty boy tilts head like Michael Myers. The light gets bigger until it's revealed to actually be a bunch of lights orbiting around a central light, like the rings of Saturn. It floats oddly in the air, then shoots off into the night sky and disappears. Yeah, that's supposed to be one of those things from the Bible that fucking, Ezekiel saw, or whatever his name. My dad always used to tell me that. He's like, Ezekiel saw a UFO. I was like, what? Yeah, then we read that part in the Bible together. The biblically accurate angels, or whatever they call them on YouTube. Then, yeah, my dad was saying how, like, nobody's ever really been able to draw a picture of it that's, like, 100% accurate to how it was described in the Bible. Because I remember it. It was something like, and then there were, like, it was a chariot with 16 wheels, and around each wheel was 16 wheels, and it's just like, what? Like, it was some weird shit like that. Okay, pretty boy blinks. She glances around to see if anyone else saw the same thing. Then she shrugs it off and picks up a Playgirl magazine. I always wonder, like, if I was in the apocalypse, like, or maybe not me personally, but I always think about, like, if it was the apocalypse and you're, like, just traveling with, like, and just picking up random shit you found and discarding what you don't need and stuff. Like, what kind of random shit would you have with you, you know? Because obviously you're not, like, it's not, like, gonna turn into Lord of the Rings times or whatever, where it's, like, everything's, like, all natural again, like, you only have natural things. It's like, no, obviously you're gonna be living in the wreckage of society with everything society left behind, so there's gonna be tons of random shit. Probably a lot of plastic bags. Where was I? Meanwhile, cut to Carl and Kyoko hanging out. Kyoko, yeah, I've never been further north than Tennessee. I wonder. All of a sudden, a super fucking creepy-ass sound rips through the night air. It kind of sounds like coyotes screaming, but worse, and more hellish. It echoes hauntingly across the barren rural landscape. Everyone shifts closer to each other nervously. Glenn, what the fuck was that? It sounded like the chupacabra. Judd, all scholarly. Well, actually, it was more like a banshee. A chupacabra has a shorter cry, whereas a banshee's is more long and drawn out. Glenn gives him a look. Gee, thanks, Mr. Parazoologist. Judd, that's cryptozoologist. Glenn, whatever. Hershey speaks up then in a low and haunted voice as he grips his rifle tightly. Hershey's, it ain't none of those things. Everyone looks to him. Hershey's, I've heard that sound before. A long, long time ago. Something I thought I'd never hear again. Rochelle, what is it? Hershey's, it's better not spoke of. The cry came from some distance away. We should be safe here for the night, but in the morning, let's get as far away as we can. 4 a.m. What is it, Katie? Come here. Anyway, dark clouds have moved in during the... Oh yeah, 4 a.m. Did I say that? Dark clouds have moved in during the night. Just like this. And everyone is now snuggled down under the blankets from the cold. Flyboy and Luba are left awake, keeping watch. Flyboy shifts awkwardly in silence. So, when's your baby due? Luba. Что? Flyboy, oh. More awkward silence. Flyboy tries to break the silence. You know, I was almost a dad once. Oh yeah, I almost forgot about that. Luba, da? Flyboy, yeah, dad. But, my old lady didn't make it. Flashback time! Flyboy and Francine are having a huge-ass argument in their apartment. Flyboy screaming at her, I can't fucking stand you! Every time you open your goddamn mouth, I can't stand it! Francine throws a beer bottle at him from across the room and it smashes against the wall, barely missing him. Francine, leave me then! Leave me, you fucking lying sack of shit! I don't need you! But I swear to God, I'm gonna do everything I can to make your life a living hell! You hear me? Flyboy growls and he charges her. She tries to run but can't get away in time. He grabs her and starts slamming her against the wall. She fights back but she's overpowered by his rage. Flyboy, all you've ever done is fuck up my life. I'm not gonna let you fuck it up anymore. Isn't that from The Shining? I think it is. At last he lets her go. She crumples to the floor. Wait. Oh yeah, slamming her against the wall. I was like, wait, did he even say what he did to her? She crumples to the floor with a huge-ass blood stain on the wall where her head was hitting it. Blood pools out on the linoleum floor. Exit flashback. God, that's pretty fucking horrible. Flyboy. ... Long silence. Yeah, zombies got her. Poor gal. This apocalypse has taken something from everyone, I guess. Oh shit, it's 21 minutes.